I mean, we just came out and we did this session where we were talking about the agenda for the future, which is the major tangible report that's coming out of this. And no one wants to think that anything is just going to end up in a book that sits on a bookshelf. But before that, let's just go one step at a time. What did you think? I mean, what did you think about what the panel came up? Because one person came up for each part of the agenda for the future. And what are your immediate thoughts and feelings?
Well, one thing that struck me coming out of this session is I'm not worried about the future if this is the kind of young leadership we have. I was so moved, and particularly as one of the young leaders said, there's no future for us without us, and there's such a sense of ownership. There was such the science we heard in there, as well as the political analysis and the work that you talked about in terms of new communication. The fact that we have to not just think about where we've come, but where we're going. This is really, it's been a tough thing for people working on AIDS 2031 to really genuinely think about stretching their horizons farther. And I think this group has done it in a much more explicit way.
I hope to think that I have a say right now.
Well, the whole premise of AIDS 2031 is not that we're about predicting the future, it's about influencing it.
And making it.
And that's about what we do now. That's about what you do now, what we do now.
Right.
I think that's the whole thing. And it's about young leadership shifting the gears and making a big change. And if I see this kind of leadership, I think our biggest problem is getting some of the older people out of the way to make the space. If the outcomes of the 2031 work and all the different working groups and papers and analysis are put into the hands of the young leaders here this week, I'm not worried about them getting out and being delivered and lived on and followed up on.
The question is, how do we make an AIDS 2031 Young Leaders Summit happen every day, every moment in all of our lives, whether you are young physically or not?
Well, I think that's, if there's one piece of the work of 2031 that needs to live on to 2031, I think it's the young leaders groups.
This is something that I've been thinking about more and more and more. Young leaders, great. The young people all around the world who are passionate. There's so many people come up to me and they say, oh, you're so lucky you're working with the UN, you're working with all the right people. I mean, I work with the head of UNAIDS, Peter, and we'll meet, the new head of UNAIDS, Michelle, tomorrow and everything, and all these incredible people. This is only for 30 people and for 40 people last year. That's 70 people in total. The majority of young people who want to do something have not the opportunities that we have. We need to create, as you said, that space, that whole vacuum for them to step up to the plate. Because they'll say something like, you need to be under 30, you need to have a BA or like a postgrad or something like that. I mean, how do we make that happen?
Well, one of the things that's happened, and we already have evidence of this, last year is the first summit we had like this. We've already had one initiative launched, and that's the Global Health Corps. It was organically, a few people got together and decided that we needed an opportunity like the Peace Corps, but it's for health. And they got organized, got a small grant from Google, and then have built it, have gotten some more funds.
I was so surprised when it happened, but not surprised in a way that I didn't think it would happen, but so surprised at something so tangible, which has now given out X number of fellowships and has funding of a few $100,000 now, was given out, funding worth that. It's just amazing. And do you know what the strongest thing of that particular story and the story beyond it, which is AIDS 2031 Young Leaders, it just shows the possibilities. It shows that anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Well, Sigrun Mogadal came up with a line yesterday saying, making choices, driving change. And it's just about choices. It's about opportunities and running with them. And we've heard so many opportunities, and if we just run with some of them, I think we have a lot to look forward to.